This is Ben Keys, and you're listening to the Crowject podcast.
Here's Gill. Oh, look, this might go through. It could be the ugliest goal we've ever seen. Oh, yeah, it's magnificent. That's not in the textbook, but it's his third.
To win showdown 51. Kicks from 45. Starts right, but it's coming back. The Crows win. It's a miracle.
Walker needs to kick accurately, and he has. Oh, what a lift of the excitement machine, McLeod.
Welcome to the 2023 Crowject Season Predictions podcast. We are here at Nathaniel's Coffee and Panini on Lower North East Road. I believe we're on. I'm from down south. I don't know Northern Road.
We are on Lower North East Road. Correct.
Good from me. Good start. You can also visit Nathaniel's Portavia at 229 Green Hill Road in Dulwich. We want to thank Nathaniel for his ongoing support of the pod, and also Trojan Aluminium and our fantastic Patreons. As I look around the table tonight, I'm joined by Damon. How you doing?
Good, mate. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good to hear.
Ray, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Chad, Connor, how you going?
G'day Ben, how you doing?
Good, thank you. And we have hit the multi-queen feature on the Crowject pinball machine tonight. We're joined by Jade.
Hello.
Hello.
I like that one. I was going to ask you, why did you just completely skip me? What the hell?
We went from me to Ray. I went, this is a strange triangle he's drawing across the table.
Yeah,
This is odd.
kind of fits the pinball phrase. I like it.
Sent the voicemail earlier saying I wanted to host for that game.
I love it.
And upon reflection, how do you think it went?
Not bad, but I'll jump to Sophie, the other side of the multi-queen here. How you doing, Soph?
I'm great. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
That's good.
That was very good, Ben. Very
Thank
good
you.
fight.
I liked it.
Thank you very much. So we are 3 days away from the AFL season, and we do this every year where we predict what we think is going to happen and get it incredibly wrong every year. But we're back, and we might get one this year. So I wanted to start off by asking you all, who do you think your riser on the AFL ladder will be? We'll start with Damon and go anti-clockwise.
Mine's a pretty boring one for a Crows podcast, but I think we will be. Honestly, like the improvement over the off-season, the recruiting, the fact that we just belted West Coast and then Fremantle on their home decks in pre-season. Pre-season form's no indicator, but it's the only indicator we have. And really, of all the teams that were sort of around us on the ladder, I think we're the ones that have got the most upward momentum right now. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Soph, what are you thinking?
Well, obviously, I think we're going to rise a little bit more, but I would like to see the Giants go up because they were 16th last year.
They can't go much further down.
Well, exactly. And honestly, I just want to hear the song. I want to hear some big sound.
I assumed everyone was going to say Crows, so obviously I think them, but I'm going to put West Coast up there. Whoa. They've got half their list back that didn't play last year, who are all stars of the game, all Australians multiple times, so I think they can't have as bad a season.
I mean, you'd hope.
It'd be tough to match it.
Yeah.
Connor, how about you?
Well, I've gone the boring answer. I'm going to say Crom because, it's the best answer.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that one.
I also said Adelaide.
Good. I have two. I did have the Crows on there, but I thought that might be a bit of a common theme. And I've added Richmond as well, who finished 7th.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Have bolstered their stocks quite a lot, and I can see them jumping well into the top 4, and if not, top 2, unfortunately.
That's gross.
So we've done the riser there. Who do we think's falling down the table? We'll jump the other way this time. Jade,
Whoa.
what do you think?
I said the Hawks. I just don't think they'll be up around the mark this year. But, who knows? They lost way too many of their, mature age players.
Yeah.
I literally don't even know who's on their list anymore. But, yeah.
Not sure
I think
they do
we know.
either. I think it's name tags of training every week. Where do they finish at the end of last season?
13th.
Oh, yeah, they won't be around there. Yeah.
I reckon the Doggies are going to fall. Maybe 10 to 12, just missed the 8, because I don't really have a reason. I just have a feeling. But there's no math behind it. There's no science.
We went
Vibe.
It's a vibe.
just like Ray, you're a vibe guy.
I came here last year, it was all vibes. And I'm here again, all vibes. There's no science. It's fine.
You just got to feel it in your waters, and my waters are telling me, I don't even know if I've got waters, but
Where would you keep your waters, Ray, if you have them?
in the fridge.
In the fridge.
Of course.
Ask a stupid question.
Mine's Freo. I think
Really?
Yeah, they got a lucky draw last year. They run on the back of some hot form. They fell away late, but yeah, they're not going to make the 8 this year.
Wow. Okay.
I actually also had Freo. They finished 5th, so I thought maybe they might be on the downward spiral. I mean, you can't really take pre-season into too much.
I
but
did. That's the only maths I'm using at the moment.
we did fairly well against them, so I don't know.
I think there's one obvious answer here at Sydney. You get belted in the grand final like that, that takes some serious mental recuperation to come back from it.
They do
History
have Don
says.
Pike as well.
That's true. Don doesn't know how to respond from a grand final belting. I hadn't even thought of that when I was doing mine. Yeah. That's Don, if you're listening, we feel for you, mate. And I don't even think it's going to be that far. Like, they'll probably stay in the 8. But you make a grand final, the next step should be that you make a second grand final, realistically, and they're not going to do that this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like this side of the table is thinking pretty similarly, because I also had Sydney as the faller. They finished 3rd last year, and I think is out of the last 10 grand finalists to get smacked by 40 plus, I think only 3 of them have made the finals again the next year. So got some history to get over the top of if they want to do anything this year, and I just don't think they will.
There you go.
So next up, we're moving to some individual awards, and the Brownlow medal is first up. We'll go back the other way. Damon, who are you thinking? Tell you what, I'm keeping you on your toes tonight.
I like this because I feel like this is where we can start to get a bit controversial and make some nuffy calls. So I'm going to make my first true nuffy call of the night. I think it's going to be Max Gawn.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
See, controversy. Let's discuss. I don't think he was that far off it a couple of years ago. You know, really, the ruckman tag just came before any Coleman consideration. They
Won't
weren't
be
gonna...
playing ruck though this year.
Well, this is the thing. I think he's going to float around a bit more. I think Grundy's going to free him up a bit from the ruck. He's probably going to play a bit up forward. He'll be floating down back. When he does play in the ruck, he'll stand out. I feel like Melbourne are going to be like the redemption story this year as well. Like the narrative around them is going to be very popular, very positive. Gawn's probably going to have a couple of games where he gets 30-odd touches, I feel. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm calling it. Yeah, nuffy time, mate. It's nuffy
okay.
time. Let's do it. Embrace it. And based on no research into his form off season, I think just having Gawn around the place is just having Grundy, is going to help him out, and a resurgent Melbourne is good for Max Gawn.
Don't mind the call. Don't mind it at all. Sophie, what do you reckon? Who's winning the Brownlow this year?
Lockie Neal, he was robbed last year.
Yeah,
It was. Our
I mean-
multi suffered that night.
I was gutted. I thought he had it in the bag, and then bloody Cripps came through. Anyway, so I reckon this is his year. No real reason. He's just my boy, so
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to contradict myself already. 3 predictions in. Andrew Brayshaw was pretty good last year. Everyone started noticing a bit more. He's like the best brother, apart from the one in the SAS, but he's the best of the 4. So, yeah.
Is it one of the
There's 4
SAS?
of them.
Yeah, there's 4 of them. One can't play football, but he's in the SAS. One plays for Melbourne. One played 1 game for West Coast. Yeah.
Bloody hell. Do you reckon when he's done being in the SAS and he comes home, he just tells people down the pub, yeah, but I could have been a really good footballer?
Yeah,
Just brags about that part of his life?
correct.
Absolutely, I would.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm this fantastic, but I could have done that as well.
Exactly,
I had
yeah.
a choice.
Yeah. I'd be an amazing footballer too if I knew how to play football. You know, it's the only thing stopping me.
Oh, God. All right, so we're on the Brownlow, right?
Correct.
All right, I'm going for everyone's favourite redhead, Clayton Oliver.
Yep.
Yep.
Melbourne, redemption arc. Clayton Oliver's going to take them all away, I reckon.
We're agreeing on a lot of points up until you say the name. It's going to be a resurgent Melbourne. Few players are going to have good years. Max Gawn's going to have a better year.
We'll see what happens. Would you put money on it, though?
No, because you're definitely going to win.
That's my segment.
Oliver's in midfield for a start.
I'll leave the bets to Ben. So losing the bets.
Slap.
Loves it. I've actually gone for Took Miller. He was third last year.
Yeah.
Only like a couple of votes behind. So I think he pretty much leads Gold Coast, to be honest.
There's no one stealing votes from him.
No,
it's true.
he's the most notable player in that team, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think he's got a good chance. I'm on the Took train.
Love it.
And he's ripped.
Where does that stop?
Yeah.
Where's that train go to? Where do you reckon he'd go?
About 10th place on the ladder.
I was going to say to Far North Queensland.
Surfers Paradise.
know where you want to end up.
Yeah, maybe the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So I am in conjunction with Ray, and I think Andy Brayshaw will be up there again as well. I rode him all season last year, and he didn't quite get there on the night. But as Ray said, he'd be noticed by the umpires. You know, you got to have that one year, and then you take the next level. So I think he can do that. Fife moves completely forward. No one else really in the middle other than Sarong maybe to take some votes. Should go well. And on to another individual award, the Coleman medalist. We'll swing it back around to Jade.
Ooh, I've gone Tom Lynch. I just think he was close to it last year and he had a pretty injury interrupted season, plus got subbed out of like 3 games during the year and was still right up there. So I reckon he could take it home.
Good call. Resurgent Richmond too with an improved midfield.
Yeah. I reckon he's a good chance.
So I'm going to go with Jesse Cameron. Just on good form, I reckon he's going to continue into next year and just kick bags almost every week, I reckon.
Yep.
I'm going to go a little bit left field.
Is this your Nuffy call?
I don't know if it's Nuffy because I think
We'll
I've got
be the
some,
judge.
Yeah. Jack Gunston going up to Brisbane.
It's borderline Nuffy.
Oh, wow. I forgot about
Now, Ray.
Jack yeah, so everyone's talking about the midfield, Lockie Neal, Will Ashcroft, all those guys. Everyone's forgetting that they brought Connor McKenna in to just fly off the half-back line. And if he can just fly off there and create some chaos ball going into their forward line, they're going to be unstoppable with Gunston, Cameron, who else up there?
Danaher?
Yeah.
Danaher.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout, actually.
That is a scary forward line.
Well, isn't it? And Gunston's going in to be the third up there.
Yeah.
So he can just be the specialist, take cheap marks, kick. He'll probably kick 2 to 3 goals most games, just for low effort, high efficiency.
Yeah. Can we just go back to the fact that we've had our first chaos ball for 2023? And we haven't needed to mention Dwayne. Good job, Ray. That was nice.
It's chaos. You know, his arms and legs flying around everywhere. And that's just me watching it.
So I've gone Jeremy Cameron as well. I just think they had a good delivery last year into the forward line, and I reckon that's going to continue this year. I do want to just mention Elodie wanted to let everyone know that her common medalist is going to be Nathan Fife. So just going to put that out there. He's going to tear it up this year.
That might not be a bad shout because he's almost certainly looking exclusively half-forward minutes, isn't he, this year?
Yeah, that's what they've said.
Yeah, so that's, not a bad shout. I'm boring. I've said Cameron as well. There's no knocking Geelong right now. And the one other thing is that I wonder how much longer Hawkins can take over that number 1 role up there. So they might look to do a few things to sort of get him closer to goal, find Cameron some space so there's a little less pressure on Hawkins every now and then. So he might actually have a game plan that suits him for the first time since he's been at Geelong.
That's a really good argument. But I'm going to put on my Crows-coloured glasses and Darcy Fogarty.
Hey, someone's got to do it.
Absolutely. What a finish he had to last year. He would have won the Coleman if it was taken from after round 12. Back him in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kane Corns has backed him in.
Has he?
Yeah.
A kiss of death.
Ooh.
Wonderful.
That might be one prediction I'll get wrong in that case.
Yeah. There's still time to change it, mate, if you don't want to be amongst that company.
Nah, we back fogging.
do
We
it.
love fog. Next up, we will go the Rising Star, and I feel like there is one very obvious choice who most of us are going to say here, but I won't say the same one. Damon, who are you thinking for the Rising Star?
I know who you're talking about, and Ray and I actually just had a chat before I went, Ray, I've forgotten everything I researched about the draft, mate. Like, I spent 4 months researching it, 3 months forgetting it. But I think I talked myself into picking Sheasel because he's going to be at a club where he will play 90% of the games this year. He'll kick a few goals because he'll play at half forward and he's a talented youngster, and he'll have to go and get his own ball because he plays for North Melbourne. So he's going to do things that'll attract the eye. He's going to be a consistent performer, and he's going to do it at the right end of the field too. So I think he's got a few advantages going his way, and he's a talent, an absolute talent.
He was good in the trial game as well because when North were getting absolutely belted by the Dogs, they threw him down back. So
There
he
you
played
go.
both ends of the field.
Oh,
and
that's
rack up
going to
the
earn him a
field,
lot of points too. Yeah,
Absolutely.
very good. Thanks for confirming my argument. That's good.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
I've gone Will Ashcroft. Not going to lie, I just looked up everyone on Sportsbet at the bets because I don't really know who's coming in, and I just went, that name sounds like someone that we're going to hear a lot of this year.
And you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that I wrote Sheasel, but I just looked at my notes and I hadn't written Sheasel. I've gone with Ruben Ginby from West Coast.
Oh yeah.
Perth kid,
Yeah.
big body, bull, can't kick very well, but gets a lot of them. Yeah, I reckon he'll play a lot of minutes and do pretty well over there.
His name's kind of fun to say.
Jinby? It sounds like something you'd order at a bar.
Yeah.
And it'd come with like blood orange or something.
It sounds like something, but you'd order it at a bar and all the locals would death stare you for ordering one.
Yeah.
You know,
Are we talking just the full name? Is it the Reuben Jinby?
Yeah,
I feel like that could be a drink.
Yeah.
Or the Jinby.
Sounds like a sandwich now all of a sudden.
Yeah, the Reuben Jinby's like a sandwich and drink combo.
It's a meal deal, yeah.
That you'd get at a cafe run by someone that looked like Max Gorn.
Yep. In fact, Max Gorn's backyard cafe, when he starts it up again, that's the first specialty item on it. Yeah.
Exactly.
A cup of soup and a Reuben sandwich.
And a Reuben Jinby.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh my
And he's going to serve it wearing his Brownlow medal next year.
That his mum made for him.
Oh my God. I'm just going with like the general answer that everyone else is going with, but Will Ashcroft.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about this year's draft. I'm not going to lie. Also last year's draft. But yeah, everyone in SEN was saying Will Ashcroft, so that's what I'm going to go with. So yeah.
Yep.
Yep, and I've gone with the exact same. I think he'll be in a good team. I think he'll play a fair bit. It'll be similar to Dacos last year, I think.
Yep.
The team will make him look good, even if he's playing average.
Yep.
Yeah. For mine, I have gone with Elijah Holland, who is still eligible for the Rising Star of the
Okay.
Gold Coast Suns. Picked up last year or the year before, but hasn't played much. So he's just essentially a new rookie coming into the system.
That's actually wild that he's still eligible.
Yeah. I don't know how. I really don't know how.
Crows fan too, isn't he, from memory?
I
Am I thinking of the right
believe
one?
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
we want, like a lot of Crows fans wanted him in the draft.
Because he said once on Twitter that he's a Crows fan. It's like, that's good enough, get him in.
He won't leave.
He won't leave us.
But what we've done instead is played 4D chess and said, go have 2 pre-seasons of the Gold Coast.
That's it.
And we'll send pick 84 up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get to know this guy named Isaac up there.
That's right. Yeah. He knows the plan. He's read the tea leaves.
So next up, we have got who will the first coach to be sacked, and I feel like we're all going to be very on par with this one.
Nah, I've changed mine because I thought user
What, 2 Hinkley?
I've got something
or-
a little bit different as
Yeah,
well.
me too.
Really?
All right, fire away, Jade. Who's
Okay,
up?
I've actually got Stewie Jew
Okay.
because they signed him on an extension when Gold Coast were doing really well
Yep.
last year, and everyone was like, "Yep, they're coming up, and then they dropped off after he resigned. So I feel if they're not performing well at the start of the year, he could be gone. He's had a very large amount of time to get things right there. The list is pretty decent, I think. So I could see him being thrown out if they don't start well.
Don't mind the call.
of the year.
Nice. Yeah, very good call.
I did have Ken Hinkley, but,
Yep.
I think Stewie Jew.
It's a good one.
I've got Adam Simpson. I just think that West Coast are absolutely going to crap the bed this year. They got smashed in the pre-season games. And just based on the way that Adam Simpson is talking about the club at the moment, it doesn't really sound like he's going to be around for much longer. So I reckon could be his last year, could be his second to last year, but we'll have to see what happens.
I remember reading something last year, I think it was actually about the Crows, about how clubs like West Coast and Adelaide don't keep their coaches for more than 3 years out of finals. And West Coast are ruthless for that too. Like, they're not used to being in the wilderness like this. So that's probably a very good shout.
Yeah, I've got Adam Simpson as well. I just thought everyone else would say Hinkley, even though I said that West Coast would. Even though I said West Coast would climb the ladder, I just don't know that he's going to be their next coach for success.
Yep.
Like, they might climb the ladder to about 10 to 12, but is he going to be there when they get up into the top 4 again?
Who's steps?
So
I was thinking this.
who knows?
But sorry, Sophie, I don't want to take over for you. But Ben, what's his name? Carlton bloke went to St Kilda. St Kilda idiot sacked him.
Went to
Brett Ratton.
Brett Ratton.
One of them.
Which one? Come on, St Kilda. Brett Ratton is sitting there right now with a ready to go CV. He is the tailor-made coach that's ready to step in, and it's gonna get to a point where there's gonna be 3 or 4 clubs that are all sitting there with the finger over the sack coach button, because the first one to do it gets Brett Ratton. So there's going to be a point this season where it's going to get a little bit dicey as to who pulls that trigger first, I
Is
reckon.
Nathan Buckley going to step back in?
Did you talk about this last week? Did I hear this from you? Someone said something very similar to me very recently about
Nathan Buckley's always front of mind, but I never talk about him.
Sure.
Yeah.
You keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's for my special note.
Should we throw to Sophie before you incriminate yourself?
Yeah.
I'm going with Jade. I reckon Stewie Dew. He's only got a 28% win record over his whole
Bloody hell.
time as coach. And I don't know, I just reckon Gold Coast are not going to see much improvement under him. So
Most of that 28% would have been last year too, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing really well in the first half of the year, and then they just fully dropped off.
That's what Gold Coast do.
Yep.
That's what they've always done. I
Yep.
can't say always because they've only been around for about
10 years, mate. They've been around for a decade. They've had long enough.
In fairness, they had some years where they sucked the whole year. So
That's true. There you go.
Silver linings.
Yeah.
but yeah, I reckon Gold Coast need someone new in there to get them going properly.
Yep. I've gone with the same answer that everyone else has gone with originally, and then changed from Hinkley. It's got to be Hinkley. They're not going to put up with another year like last year. They now have a real problem in terms of their draft depth is gone. Their young talent is limited, and they've got older blokes that are looking shaky and closer to the edge than they are at the beginning, and they've got no sort of middle ground. Or they haven't unearthed that second-tier player, which they should have by now. So they're going to run out of patience. And like I said, Brett Ratton is sitting in Melbourne right now, just phone's on, speakers on, call me if you need me. And at some point, someone's going to have to make a big call and do it. And I think Port will be the first.
Yep. Totally agree. I think they're out of their first 5 games, they've got a very hard start to the season. They're going to go, maybe 1-4, 2-3 if they're lucky, and their knives will be out.
Yep.
Koshi will be out. Won't be good. Ken will be
Cash
gone
cow
before round
looking
10.
for blood.
Oh, yeah. Sharpening its hooves.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm surprised actually only 2 out of the 6 of us have gone for Ken there, but we're all thinking it in the back of our head.
That's it. Yeah.
Because I thought everyone else was going to
Yeah,
go.
I was like, change up a little bit.
I've just pulled up Port's, the fixture. Port have Brisbane to start the year. They have in round 2 Collingwood. They've got us in round 3. And then they have in round 4 Sydney, and then round 5 the Western Bulldogs. That is a tough start to the season based on their last year form.
0-6, let's go.
It could well be.
Seriously, let's do it.
Yeah.
They're so close last year.
At what point, if they go 0-something, what is the other number to make them pull the trigger and be like, nah, Cam, that's it? If they go 0-5, I reckon he's done.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's a good shout.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good shout, yeah.
I don't know if it's 5 though. I just think Port are financially not in a position to be able to just pay that out.
They've learned the wrong lesson from Choco Williams back in the day. The lesson they should have learned from Choco Williams was don't re-sign a garbage coach or a coach that's on their way out.
10 more years.
10 more years. Instead, they've gone, don't sack a coach you've extended, even if it costs you a year. And it's like, they will hold out on sacking him because of the financials, but I think there'll be a race for, I'm going to call it race for Ratton.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're going to be playing as many cards as they can to get Nathan Buckley.
This is going to be, it'll be an interesting...
A Port boy.
Yeah.
SA boy. Experienced.
Yeah, okay.
Successful. Hot.
He really does
most
rent free in your head. Yeah. That's it.
So you reckon he has that written on his resume? Just like a photo of him at the bottom, be like, and by the way, this is me. Like,
I am a 10 out of 10.
His resume simply reads, I am Nathan Buckley.
Yeah. Like,
Full stops
You know
in
the
between.
dot points down the bottom that no one reads?
Yeah.
Like bungee jumping and stuff. He's like hot as hell.
Yeah.
Went on I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here.
That's it. Look good in a t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love
so
it.
next up, one which I hope is another very obvious answer, and eyes on you all for your answer for this. When will Benny and the Bets have a win? What round are we looking at?
This is where the table gets very awkward.
Damon,
Can I
what
start
do you
this
think?
one off?
Yeah, you can, absolutely.
I think we all win as soon as Pete's theme song hits. That's the real win here. Hearing Pete sing Benny and the Beds, that's what we're all after.
Don't worry about the content. It's like Around the Twist. It's a really good theme song, but the average show. But you get to you sing the song.
Don't insult my favourite
I was
child.
going to say average show. My God.
Wow.
Pretty poor, if I'm
Bad
honest.
call, man.
Wow.
So bad.
You weren't even around when it started. What are you talking
but
about?
I watched it.
See,
Things don't age well.
oh my God, you TikTok generation. Honey. Can't deal with it.
So, any other answers other than the theme
I
song?
said round 3. I reckon the showdown will be your winning.
We'll take that.
Winning bet.
Well, you've got Crows head-to-head round 1, don't you?
I do.
Oh, round 1.
Exactly. See, this is the kind of answer that I'm looking for
But you've
around
got
the
it
table.
multied.
With 2 other winners.
Brisbane, he's got in there
Yeah.
Yep.
to beat Port.
Okay. That's a winner.
Into Crows. Who's
Ben,
the
did
other
you
one?
write the run sheet tonight, mate? This is
did.
narcissistic. This is.
Freo are the other side in there to beat St Kilda, and they're
Yeah, round 1.
Oh, St Kilda's got less to choose from than to choose from. So.
Yeah.
so round 1's the final answer.
Round 1.
Really, let's-
Round 1.
Now, Jade,
Yeah.
if someone wants to sign up to Patreon, where do they go and what do they get?
Oh, they go to
Checks notes.
patreon.com/Crowject. And what do you get? A whole bunch of cool stuff.
Like a bottle opener, stickers.
Yeah. That's it.
What else comes?
Those
with that?
things.
Stubby holder.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. I love mine.
And Ray, how much do you have to pay to sign up for the different tiers on patreon.com
As little as
/Crowject?
$1. And as we've discovered, that's not much.
Not that much.
No.
Someone
It's
is
like
much
two
more
half dollars.
prepared than me.
And I think there's a $2 and a $10.
Correct.
Still not.
There's like a $3 as well.
Yeah, that's just if you get a $1 and a $2 one.
That's adding the 2
You end up-
subscriptions together.
Oh, yeah,
If you get one for a friend. Yeah.
that works, actually. That maths checks out. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, Connor, that lovely crom beanie that you're modelling at the moment, if the lovely viewers are wanting to go and get one, where would they go and get one?
We
As
hop on
well as
over.
many other things.
To our beautiful Big Cartel website, crowject.bigcartel.com, for all your Crom merch. You've got beanies, pullover hoodies, you got Crom hats, Crom stickers, Crom air fresheners. We could probably even make Crom flags. Oh no, we have Crom. There.
We can do it so
Real.
quickly. We just quickly.
Whoa!
Real. But yeah, definitely go to crowject.bigcartel.bigcartel. Yeah, that's the one.
That's
You
one.
know the one. And also, you can get your crom pose.
Crompo.
I really love pose.
Yeah, the Crom pullover hoodies, beautiful, soft, and just the best thing to sleep in.
And we did them first.
Absolutely. No other brands.
Not that other company that
No.
dropped the hate.
Not the multi-million-dollar company.
No.
No, we definitely did it first.
And speaking of brands, we'll head over to our halftime ads now, and we'll be back shortly. All right, we're back, and we're back into our predictions. Now, from everyone, I want your bottom 4, and I don't just want the bottom 4, I want it in order. Who's winning the spoon, and who's going to be around the mark, Damon? What do you think?
North Melbourne's going to add to their kitchen cabinet this year. Yep. They're going to be making a lot of soup in the years to come because there's a lot of wooden spoons for Sarah. I don't see any improvement from them whatsoever. Basket case of a club. West Coast, I see being second. A little bit worried about them. And actually, the talk about their coach is actually making a scary amount of sense. I didn't really think about it. Essendon, I think they're just going to stall a bit. A lot of young talent, not a lot of direction. And Gold Coast, because they're the Gold Coast. Build them a bridge to Tasmania already and get it done.
The city
That's
where
a big bridge.
sporting teams go to die.
Yeah. It's just a cemetery for Sherrans and Steedens. It's just why we
And basketballs, whatever they use.
ice hockey, you name it, they've tried it. It hasn't worked.
Yeah, well, it's too hot on the beach for ice hockey.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah,
And sand hockey, you just don't skate that well.
just didn't learn.
Yeah.
If only we could move this inside with some air conditioning. Shut up, idiot. We're just going to fold.
So, who have you got down the bottom part of the ladder?
I've gone pretty close to Damon, actually. I've got North on the bottom, and then West Coast. I've got then Hawthorn, and then Gold Coast to round out the bottom 4. I reckon they're all going to be bottom dwellers this year.
I've got a little bit different. I've got St Kilda finishing for the spoon, North Melbourne 17, Essendon 16, and Port.
Wow. I mean, we love it, but wow.
That's a big call.
That's a huge...
Hawthorn's way too good a club, and Sam Mitchell's way too good a coach to lose that many games.
He can only do so much with the list he has, but I agree
He can do
to
something.
an extent. Yeah.
So I've got good old North Melbourne at 18th. I just Clarko's a really good coach, but I don't think he's that good of a coach to turn a list around.
Will he be coaching round 1?
Oh, I forgot about this whole...
Most people have. That has not gotten sorted yet, from what I understand.
I think.
Oh, he's allowed back. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's
allowed back, but the procedure hasn't finished, has it?
I thought it had been.
Has it done? Is it?
It's gone very quiet.
We can edit this out later, but it's gone very quiet, and there's not a lot of movement on that front. Sorry to
Oh, no, that's okay.
hit the flag button just in case I'm completely wrong there. Good boy.
Then I got the Eagles in 17th. Just Adam Simpson, not going to do much. I think he's coming to the end of his career as a coach. Realises that, and I think he's just going to hang around for the year and just let what happens happen. Then I got Essendon at 16th. Just Essendon, they suck.
Yep.
They have sucked forever.
Yep.
Then I got Hawthorn at 15th. I think Sam Mitchell's a very good coach. Unsociable Hawks look like they're back, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to boost up the ladder again.
I have the West Coast Eagles in 18th, and I've actually only got them winning 3 games. So
Wow.
yes, and then I've got North in 17th, Hawthorn in 16th, and Essendon in 15th.
Yep. So we're all pretty similar with the bottom 4. I've gone North at the bottom. There's just no improvement there. They're not jumping up anywhere. Hawthorn in 17th. I think they'll be unworldly bad and in a shit fight with North. They'll just be battling for the bottom 2 spots all season. Essendon 16th. We keep hearing that they're going to be coming. When are they going to be coming?
They're
We don't
still
know.
coming.
You know, they're saying just wait. Just wait. We're still waiting. And West Coast in 15th. A mild improvement on last year, but not a lot for me. Now, who just misses the finals? Who's finishing in 9th and 10th and left to wallow in pity all of the off-season going, geez, if we'd won that 2-point loss, if we'd done this, if we'd done that. Damon, 9th and 10th.
So do you want to, okay, so 9th and 10th, I've actually got Sydney falling out of the 8. Mostly on the back of I'm predicting a very slow start from them. They'll try to pick it up. They'll have a resurgence mid-year, too little, too late. They'll try a few things that won't work, and then the whips will be cracking, and they just won't quite get it done. And then I've got the Hawks there, and I think they'll be ecstatic to finish 10th, honestly. I agree with both Ray and Sophie in that they're not a great list, but they've got a great coach, and they're a great club, and they've got great facilities. I think there'll be enough to carry them through, but I also don't see it being a long-term thing. Like I can see this being a bit of a dead cat bounce, and then next year they sort of struggle a bit with a younger list.
A dead cat.
Have you not heard that term? No? Because I said it and you immediately said, what the hell?
We need the iPad with the spring sound.
I don't think it's a spring sound. I think it's just a.
Yeah. Just a wet thud.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not happy with that.
Why is it wet now?
I don't know. Flag that.
Must have been in my waters. I don't know.
You know what's in the fridge?
Someone save me.
So who you got in 9th and 10th?
I've got Carlton and us, actually. I reckon
Yeah, okay.
with the amount of wins that I've predicted that we might get, I reckon we're going to be in that maybe just sneaking in for finals or kind of just on the border end. So I reckon we're going to be in that awkward spot.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got us around it, but glass half full put us in. So I've got Gold Coast and Bulldogs finishing 9th and 10th.
It's pretty good, I like that. I've got, just to rub the salt in the wound a little bit more, Port in 9th.
Oh, how sweet was that?
By percentage or?
That'd be even better.
I think so. All right, I don't have the squiggle website.
By someone getting a draw and getting half a game.
I was going to
above
say, I hope there's a draw involved somehow. Yeah. Not a draw. Yeah, not a draw they were in.
them. Yeah.
That'd be even...
Out of their hands completely.
Yeah.
Someone jumped from like 12th to 8th and knocked them out just in the last...
That
Oh,
was
too
so
much.
good.
Too much.
Last game of the season.
Oh.
Oh, the fairy tale. And then I've got Collingwood in 10th. Just because I don't like Collingwood. And I used to like Collingwood. But
Hang
now
on,
I
you've said
don't.
the same club twice. The Black and White Strong.
Took me a second there to figure out what
Yeah.
I said, but yeah.
Don't mention the war.
No, they're friends now. It's all good. It's all sorted.
Yeah, they had a contract. They shook hands.
But only once, one game. That's
Yeah. So then Port and then Collingwood. But yeah.
Nice. I have the Bulldogs in 9th. I think they just snuck in last year based on results, so I think they'll just miss. And I've got us in 10th. So
Nice.
Sounds
Stranger
like we're
things
around
have
the mark.
happened.
Is that a win though? Like 10th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
I'm
I
happy with
think
that.
so.
Yeah.
I would say anything within touching distance of finals for us this year is a big win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have got the Dogs and the Swans 9th and 10th as well. Sydney with the fall, the Dogs just around the mark, like Jade said. Now we move to the good half of the ladder and what you really want to be at. The top 4. Jade, who have you got?
Now, this is very interesting based on what everyone else has been saying. I've actually got Sydney at the top of the ladder.
Wow, okay.
I did the whole thing where you go through and pick all the games, and I actually have them winning 18, losing 4.
That's a good season.
I mean,
I think they've got a good amount of mature players.
Yeah.
The young players are good. I didn't really think about the fact that they did lose the grand final by a lot, and I guess I didn't really take that into consideration, but I think they're still a good team.
I mean, it's only a mental thing. Like
That's
if they can get
Yeah.
over that and it's not an issue for them, they've
Yeah.
got the second best list in the competition. So it makes sense.
So I think they could show up. I then have Brisbane in 2nd, Melbourne 3rd, and Geelong in 4th. So yeah, all those same old teams really.
Boring old competition with Colin.
So I've got Crom in 4th place.
Wow.
Just, generous.
Optimism.
Okay. Yep.
I've got Lions in 3rd place, Cats 2nd place, and then Demons, the Resurgence, in 1st place. It should be a good year if that happens.
I've got Brisbane, those hot young things, up at number 1. I've got Sydney as well. I'm a bit like Jade. I think they've got enough players that have been to finals and out of finals to sort of level that out a little bit. And then I've got Geelong and Richmond 3 and 4. So Melbourne just get into 5. So
I've got Brisbane finishing on top. Then Melbourne, Geelong, then Collingwood. But it was a kind of a toss-up between Sydney and Collingwood for that last 4th spot. So, but yeah, I just love Brisbane, all of their recruits that they've got. I mean, obviously I like them anyway, but I just feel like their off-season has been very good.
Yep.
And I think we're going to see that this year.
Does it feel like they're sort of strengthening for one last tilt?
It has to be. They've
Yeah.
been up
Yeah.
there for, I don't even know, I reckon like 3 or 4 years now.
Yep.
I reckon for the last 3 or 4 years, I'm like, Brisbane are going to win it. Brisbane are going to
Yep.
win it. They never do. They have to this year. Otherwise, I actually don't know what will happen to their coach.
the thing, well, he's just re-signed.
Has he?
That's
Yeah.
what will happen.
Yeah.
That'll show him.
Absolutely nothing.
The thing with Brisbane's been they've brought in these players like your Neils and all that, but they haven't sacrificed any draft stock. So they've brought
Yeah.
young kids in at the same time. You'll see that with Ashcroft this year, and there was another one that they brought in the top 20 as well, who is a father-son whose name escapes me.
Yeah, I can't think.
Yep.
4 months researching, 3 months forgetting.
Yeah, exactly. So they haven't sacrificed any young guys coming in, so I think they can stay up around the mark for a little bit.
Yep. Mine's pretty boring. Melbourne, Geelong, Brisbane, Richmond. Yep. Richmond, unfortunately, will be the big song and dance at the end of the year, but it'll be Melbourne, I think, throughout the season. Like, that'll be the big story, the positive story.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got Geelong sitting on top, and purely because they've got 9 games at GMHBA Stadium against no big Victorian teams, some average teams go across there. They'll build up enough percent to be on top. Brisbane in 2nd. I think it is just about their year. They look primed. They look ready to go. Richmond, as I said before, they're going to be massive this year. They're basically, you've got Dusty coming back in as almost a new recruit because he didn't play most of last year.
That's true.
Taranto comes in. Hopper comes in. They're just a great team to look at. And Melbourne round out my top 4. I think they will have a revitalised season, but it's a very strong top half of the ladder this year and tough to crack into.
Yep.
So
Very.
now, we've got who's on top of the ladder, top 4. Who goes on from there to win the premiership at the end of September or early October? One of the two. Damon, who you got?
How do dates work? This was a genuinely tough one for me because of those I'm going to say it's one of those top 4, Richmond, Brisbane, Geelong, Melbourne. The last time Richmond were in a position like this, they went on and bloody won it. So I don't ever want to go through that horrible feeling of Richmond going on a tear through finals ever again. So I won't say it's them. I am going to say it'll be Brisbane because that last tilt, they've recruited for it. They are done being beaten in prelims. And I think that's going to be their big thing. They're going to go to the prelim and absolutely smash it, dominate someone in a prelim. and then they will take someone by surprise in the grand final. And I think that team, on the back of like what you just said, then will be Geelong. Yep.
Soph, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going Brisbane as well. It's probably no surprise. I reckon it's going to be a Brisbane-Melbourne grand final, though. And I reckon Brisbane's going to finally do it.
Yeah, I like that.
Will they do it in the old Fitzroy red kit too?
Oh.
I think that'll look good on the MCG.
It would.
Eddie's not going to allow that.
Did you come onto my MCG wearing that?
Yeah, I got Brisbane as well.
I've got Demons. Like, my first guess, well, not guess, but like prediction was going to be Crom, just because flag Crom 23 of the 5. But after some careful consideration, I keep on thinking about Melbourne's just like working room. Like, you could go on, Grundy,
Brownlow medalist.
Clayton Oliver, and
Runner-up in the Brownlow medal.
Stephen May. Like, they've just got so many big names in that team. If they don't get to the big dance at the end, I'll be pretty surprised.
Yep.
Yeah, I went Lions and just think, this is the year. This is the year. If it's not,
Surely.
they're never winning it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've gone Richmond/Brisbane because I literally can't split them. I think Brisbane's win at the MCG in the semi-final against Melbourne last year is a real strong showing of that they can win a final in Melbourne and can push them a long way. But then I look at Richmond and I go, geez, it's hard to go past Richmond. So, you know, it's some sort of
They get that
big
2017 treatment where they just managed to get Melbourne team, never leave the state. It's gross.
beat.
Yuck. Ew.
Yep.
Don't like it.
No, absolutely. So I think, yeah, Richmond or Brisbane will be one of those two. Now we're going to jump over to our listener polls. If someone has got them handy from Instagram and Twitter, we asked a few questions about the Crows season and what the listeners were thinking. So I think we started off with where will the Crows finish on the ladder?
We did. So we had 16% say first to fourth.
Yeah, lock it in.
35% say 5th to 8th, and 47% say 9 to 13th.
There's that pessimism we used to.
And
That's what I'm waiting for.
2% say 14th to 18th. So that was 7 votes. I'm just going to say they accidentally clicked on that and didn't mean to do that.
I reckon it's the 7 people in this room right now. We just don't want to reveal it on air.
Certainly wasn't Pete. He normally predicts this for top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second one was who's going to win the BNF. So we have Rory Laird coming in with 35% of votes. Ben Keys coming in with 10% of votes. Other coming in at 10%, reply to let us know. I don't have the replies available, so I don't know who people were guessing, but 26 people voted for Other.
He's a new recruit. He'll be a mid-year recruit, Charlie Other.
That's it.
I think you'll find it's pronounced Uther.
Uther.
Oh, shit.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not good at pronunciation. And the leader, Jordan Dawson, 45% of votes, which is also who I said in my predictions would win the BNF. Anyone else?
Yeah, I had Dawson as well.
Anyone else have an Other or an Uther?
I had Laird. Charlie Uther.
I got Berry.
Whoa!
I like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that.
Good shout. It's a
Yep.
good shout.
He's statistically speaking, at one point last season, he was the number 1 offensive midfielder in the league, and no one talked about it. Yeah.
No.
So he's going to be up there for a big year.
I rate that. And then we have our leading goal kicker. And we've got Tex with 17% of votes, Rankin with 10%, 2% said Uther.
Uther.
He's having a big year.
He is. I like Uther as a utility, you know?
And the leader is Fogg with 71% of votes. And that's also who I said.
Yep.
Me too.
Me too.
So there we go.
I wrote Rankin.
I had Fogg, Rankin tie
Ooh. I like that.
because they're going to be kicking bags between the two of them.
Yeah.
Like, they're not both going to be kicking bags in the same game.
Yeah. And then to decide the winner of that, it'll be a physical 100 style challenge right at the end of the year.
I feel bad for Rankin.
Oh, yeah. If it's going to be lift the heavy thing for a while, just Fogg. Yep.
And the polls on Twitter were the exact same results, pretty much. So, yeah, all the same leaders. And so that's that.
And we did have some listeners ask a few questions of us of what they wanted to hear just before we get into our Crows results that we're thinking. So one question was, who will give away the most 50-metre penalties this season? Jade, we'll go back around this way.
I'm going to say Rochelle. I feel like he can get a bit worked up. We saw the one that he gave away in the showdown last year. There's no real reason other than I think he can get a bit worked up and a bit angry, and he could do a bit of umpire dissent, and then it just turns into another one. So that's what I'm going to say. Rochelle.
I think Rankin, I don't know if it was the West Coast or Freo game, but he gave away a 50, I'm fairly sure, pretty early on in the game. I don't know if it was dissent or like stepping over the mark or something, but we go Rankin.
I'm going to see them as the same person because we're never going to see them in the same room together. But Thilthorpe and Himmelberg will just be running through protected areas when they're playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big, nuffy ruckmen who are allowed to run around.
Yeah.
They're going to make mistakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say Rochelle. I think he's just got that bit about him, just with the umps. Just, yeah.
He's got that grrr.
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, Josh, behave. I didn't even think in terms of mouthing off the umpires or frustration. I just thought, who's capable of the most just nuff moves in a game of football that you don't see coming? And it's Nick Murray. The amount of times he's gonna nearly murder an opponent or a teammate just late with a late hit or a fist and look at him and go, I didn't even know you were there, man. Like, there's no malice. I just didn't even know you played. And the umpire's going to go, mate, it's a 50. He goes, yeah, obviously it's a 50. That's going to happen a few times, I think.
Well, this side of the table really is instantly. Nick Murray
You copied my notes.
Yeah, similar thoughts really on Nick Murray, so I'll go with him.
Yeah.
Now, what have we got
That
here?
goes well into who the player that Nick Murray's going to take out in our team.
Yeah.
That was also one of the questions that they wanted to know.
And it's obviously Will Hamill.
Yeah.
It's always Will Hamill.
Burger.
I was
I'm
going to say
going to go
dudes.
with butts.
But
Oh, please no.
yeah.
Or like a dude with
Yeah, I
like a
reckon
contract
dudes.
like on his knee, so it just like staples it.
That's a good idea. Yeah. With one knee, it's the contract. With the other elbow, it's the staple. Hence the move.
Or a pen. Blood sign this.
Yeah.
I reckon Chase Jones is just going to get in the way. And
Yeah, okay.
Murray's just going to come through and just take him out.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I don't want that to happen, but I can just see it. Yeah.
Yep. Do you know what would be a real Crows thing to do, actually, now that I think about it? Jordan Dawson's just been made captain.
Oh, God.
Don't say that. Touch wood. Oh, I'm touching
Sorry,
the
people
middle.
have headphones on.
Nick Murray drops mark of the year over the new captain and concusses him in the process. Is why it drops.
Mark of the year.
Look me in the eye and tell me that can't happen.
The best part of that sentence was drops, and I think some people would have missed that.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
It is.
A real
You
possibility.
could see it happening.
So next up we have, who is a senior player who will not be getting a game after the bye?
Well, Dawson's going to be concussed thanks to Murray. So.
Let's preface this by saying that they will be getting games before the bye. So don't say Matt Crouch because he would have already been out.
That's it.
I don't know if you guys... He's got to be a senior player by now, but Wayne Millerer. I think this is a season... this season's defining for his career.
Yep.
And I think where Millerer struggles is that he's one of those players that's a little bit too classy for SANFL footy, so he doesn't dominate there.
Yep.
But then he's just in a no man's land in AFL footy at the moment, so I think he's just in the middle.
Yeah.
He's got so much potential though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've been saying this since draft day, mate. Like, he was the most silky smooth South Australian in that draft pool. But injuries, and I think you're right too, Ray, that he just doesn't quite have that niche. Doesn't quite have that role at the moment.
I would say Smith.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
I think he's getting older. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's people who can replace him now. So I would say Smith.
Absolutely. I would be looking at Rory Sloane, I think, as much as we all love him.
That makes me so sad.
Oh, this is not a fun round. This is not a fun topic.
I'd name my son after him.
It's
How can they
Adelaide.
do that?
There'll be more Rorys. Like,
Yeah, we got one other.
Yeah,
Rory Atkins still is on the Suns list. Like.
yeah.
Oh my God.
He's the most overpaid merchandise seller that they've got.
Well, I was going to say him, and I don't know if he counts in this discussion because he hasn't played heaps of senior games, but Jackson Hadley is the other one. If he's in the team somehow with the midfield we have this year in the first half, it's almost countdown to when he gets dropped. And when he's out of the team, I don't think he's coming back in.
Yeah.
That kid's a real worry at the moment.
Are we very lucky that we didn't have to pay much
Yes.
for him?
Outstandingly. Even just on the last year that he's had. You know,
He
if
hasn't been bad when he's
No.
come in, though.
No, this is it. But it's sort of, we've had no risk for the reward.
Yeah, I just think whoever's come in and replaced him has been better.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from sadness into something a little bit happier, and we will look at when will the knives come out for Ken Hinkley? At what round? And we touched on this a little bit earlier, but I'm saying round 6.
Yeah, I'm saying round 6 as well.
Yep.
I'm saying just before their pre-season camp over to Western Australia when Koshy was cutting up the chum suit to get him to swim. That's a Roddy, but...
Ken actually hasn't come back. Now that you mention it.
round 4. They've already done it, so...
Yep.
Yeah.
Nah, fair call.
Yep. Agreed.
And speaking of whipping boys, who will the club's biggest whipping boy be by the end of this year?
Nick Murray.
For concussing the captain.
Stop bringing it up. Stop talking it into reality.
I reckon kind of between Murphy and McHenry. Whenever they do get a game, I reckon there's going to be a lot of heat on them.
Yep.
And if they're not performing, I reckon the fans are going to be out for blood.
I wrote down on my big sheet McHenry, and I also said that Ray will blow a gasket at some point this season about McHenry. I think you don't think? You just don't give him that much time or energy.
I just don't think he's going to play much this year.
Yeah,
So
right.
unless he does something silly in the SNFL,
Yeah.
then I'll be on him.
Yeah.
But mine's Rob. He already is, and I don't
Yeah.
know why.
True. Yeah.
I love the big fella, and he's just going to be Rob. He's just going to be Rob.
Yep. Rob be Robin.
He can't be anyone else. He's just going to be Rob.
Yep, I agree. Rob will be the whipping boy, or will continue to be the whipping boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally already is.
Absolutely. So we move on to our predictions for the Crows' performance of this year, and we will start with the win-loss record, and I've added ladder position in there as well because I realised I didn't put that on the run sheet. Damon, where are we finishing and how many wins are we taking?
The wins bit, I'll be honest, I haven't looked into. But I've got us sitting 8th. And just to make up for my lack of homework on the win-loss thing, I can tell you I think it is going to be a nail-biter. Last 2 games of the season will decide it. Like, it's almost going to come down to a single kick as to whether or not we play finals.
So we're the team that knocked Port out.
I like that. I like that a lot.
We played them in round 22 as well, just
I'd have
just
an
quietly.
afterglow.
It's going to be a Riley Thilthorpe freak snap goal.
No, you know what
last
it's going
5
to be?
minutes. Go on.
It's going to be a Rob after the siren from 45. Everyone's like riding him off. They've been riding him all year. He comes in with his knobbly knee, drops the ball drop
no
from
angle,
4
30
foot
metres
high.
out.
Yeah. No. On a tight angle from 45. Like in the Dawson spot.
Oh, no.
Drops it from 4 stories high. Both arms in the air, flailing around, and absolutely nails it.
That is literally my biggest nightmare.
Yeah,
I don't
I don't
story?
want that.
And it comes from him catching Jason Horn-Francis holding the ball.
Yes.
Is it getting hot in here?
Because it's like...
Oh my God, I swear.
Because it's raining, and you know when you have your socks up, they get really heavy from all the
Yeah.
rain. Rob just runs him down.
We're going to be able to time his ball drop in seconds. Like, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Oh, here he goes.
But I feel like Rob is 100% the type of player that would like have the opportunity to kick off the side and would run off the mark, and they'd be like, "No, you can't kick it now."
He'd be
We'd
looking
all be
for
like, "Oh my God!"
He'd be looking for a handball.
Who's going to take it?
Rob, he's going to take it.
I'd back him in.
You're braver than me, Ray.
I would leave the room.
And then I'd want his babies afterwards.
Sure. Yeah. You're going to say to your son, like, mate, you've already got an R name, but we're changing it to Rob.
Yeah, your nickname's now Rob.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
So how high up are we finishing and how many wins are we taking this year?
Well, as before, I reckon we're going to be around that 9-10 mark, potentially sneaking into the 8 because I do have us with 14 wins, 9 losses. So we're kind of up there. But yeah, it's going to be very tight at the end of round 24 that we're in
24,
now?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got us 8th. Win-loss. Run an eye over it. Didn't look at our schedule. Just went a vibe thing. Just gave it
You're
the
a vibe
vibe
guy.
test.
Do you know
I am a vibe guy.
And I respect that.
I got us 12 and 11.
I got us at 4th, I think. Yeah, and I got us 18 and 5. Very confident.
Who are the 5?
I think it's like because I think we played West Coast twice.
Oh, we'll lose.
And they're the team we lose.
Yes, we're absolutely going to lose.
We dropped one to Essendon when we were absolutely flying at Marvel.
Who do we
Gold
play?
Coast.
Who do we play either side of the bye? That's the big one.
I've got it here.
Whoever they are, that's going to be 4th.
Eagles at home,
there
and
you go.
then we play the Pies away.
Probably lose both of them.
Yeah, we'll
Pies,
lose
then
GWS
Pies.
at home as well. Like just the classic games that you don't win as a Crows supporter or player. Yeah.
Geelong and GMHBA.
Yeah.
Get close though. Maybe win the first quarter.
Sure.
And just
Nothing from
absolutely
there.
shit the bed.
You know who we will beat? Bulldogs in Ballarat.
Yeah, we will.
Lock it in.
Yeah, we will.
Locked in.
That'll be a vibes weekend.
And then
Won't it be?
we're going to find gold panhandling.
Yeah, we will.
It's happening. It's happening. I've got us finishing 10th with 10 wins and 12 losses. And I actually did go through and do it all. I said our most annoying loss is going to be we'll lose to the Hawks away at UTAS, I reckon.
Yep.
And our best win will be the Dogs in Ballarat. Yeah, baby.
So I've got us at 13 and 10 and finishing 8th. So very similar to yourself, Damon. Very similar to everyone around the table.
When I said you can copy my homework, I said change enough that we wouldn't get investigated.
You know, I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So next up we have got who will be the Crows' leading goal kicker, and well, I said Fog for the Coleman, so it'd be hard for anyone to beat him if that happens.
That's it.
Jade, who are you looking at?
Fog.
I've got Laird. Just gonna go back to back.
Wow.
Jackets.
Goal kicker.
Oh wait.
I was going to say, what?
I was like, hang on a second.
My God.
To be fair, if he was the leading goal kicker, he probably would go back to back.
And he'd win the Brownlow.
It's a good year for Rory.
Very good year.
He's other.
Again, what can that man not do?
And again, the top shelf.
Let me backtrack.
and he's got Letter Roses Pete sings on.
That's what will push him on.
If anything's going to inspire him, man.
I've got leading goal kicker, a tie between Fogg and Rankin. Yeah, it's just good stuff.
Good.
Yep. Ray, who you got?
Rankin. I think he'll just Eddie Betts like performance this year.
Obviously, Fog. Every day.
Absolutely.
Easy.
Yeah, Fog.
All right, next up to the BNF, and Connor, we know your answer for this one, so
I'll sit back. I don't need to.
we'll go to Damon here.
I'm going to go Berry. Yeah.
Like the call.
Yeah. I've got no big, amazing story to go with that this time. He's just going to be very, very good.
Good shout.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very good. He's a very good player.
That's a new segment name.
Very good.
TM.
I like the idea. I can see that segment just being, how was Berry on the weekend? And we all go, yeah, he was good.
Very good.
And that was very good.
So yeah, I've got Dawson, but I do think the top three will be Dawson, Laird, Berry. So
Yep.
any of those three, really.
Yeah, I got the Bez.
Connor?
Led.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. We've done this already.
That's it. I'm going Dawson.
Yep, I went Dawson as well. So that brings us to the end of part 1 of the prediction pod. If you want to hang around for part 2, feel free
Or
to
should
jump
we,
through.
before we, should we chuck Pete's predictions in?
We should.
Indeed, we should.
So Pete's got Premiers Collingwood, Rises.
Whoa.
Hang on, was this Pete or Craig?
Is this... Yeah.
Pete. Creams will be coming soon. Yeah. Premiers Collingwood, Rises Crom, Fallers Sydney, Brownlow Bont, Coleman Kerno, Rising Star Ashcroft, Crows 13 and 10.
Hey.
Mount Crom Blight Medal, Laird, Goals Fog, Sacked, Hinkley.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Threw some curveballs in
Nice
there.
work, Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Ray mentioned a moment ago, we will be giving Cream a call shortly. So if you want to hang on to the episode for that, we'll give Cream a call. And also, ahead of the season, we have got a tipping and fantasy competition. So if you want to jump into tipping.afl.com.au and use league code ATYA36MV, we'll have prizes at the end of the year for the top tippers, and fantasy.afl.com.au with 6P9WFT6Y to jump in our open Crowject fantasy competition. See if you can beat us. you probably can.
No, we are so good. You have no chance.
Absolutely.
Before we go, there was another one that wasn't on the run sheet that Pete mentioned about a big or weird thing to happen across the league,
Yes.
like just during the season.
Yes.
So I thought of a random one. I reckon there's going to be an umpire that gets stretchered off at some point.
Leighton, did you hear that?
Don't mention Dawson.
He's in the same collision.
Okay, Murray's going to take Mark of the Year over an umpire.
And Dawson
It's a bold-
is underneath
and Dawson's
the umpire.
Yep.
Bold strategy, Cotton. my big call, I just feel it. Those waters are coming up again. There's going to be a big financial bombshell this year. I think someone's over salary cap. I think there's going to be a salary cap thing this year.
We'll talk off air as to who that might be. So
It's a vibe thing, though. I'm not
You don't have any
accusing
evidence?
anyone.
Allegedly.
Okay, all
I
right.
just feel the money waters are starting to churn in my guts.
Yeah.
I got a feeling we're going to see one of the world's worst horrific leg injuries.
Oh, jeez.
I have a feeling.
Have we not seen enough?
Like, I don't know who the Gold Coast player was, I think last year.
Power.
But just,
In our game? Yeah, Will Power.
but I just think it's going to be 10 times as bad. Like, a
We're
little bit
talking
higher
about
up the
Nathan
leg.
Brown-esque 2004.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bad one.
Don't you flinch. You brought it up.
I'm regretting it now. I'm going to go to bed soon.
His leg has literally been detached from his torso.
I love it. I'm going to say, I agree with the salary cap one, but I'm going to say that a game is going to stop mid-game for some reason and it'll just be finished play.
A false
Oh,
alarm,
okay.
a false alarm fire thing. Like,
I thought that happened.
We're not
But I
talking
think
to Damar
something will
Hamlin.
happen, whether it's like a weather event or like a world event or something. I think something will happen and a game will stop mid-play.
Please.
And won't go on.
Jeez.
we were once more touch wood just on the back of that.
Sorry, headphones.
An umpire severely breaking his leg will lead to a stop of the game. Yep.
And then it turns out he's been getting double
Paid
paid.
by Nick Murray.
And he got concussed by Nick Murray.
So my call is far less drastic than all of those, really.
Oh, thank God.
I'll take Stephen Rowe's lead and say that the Crows will win both showdowns and finish higher than Port on the ladder. So it's a real stolen call. I
That's
didn't
too
come up
logical,
with that
Ben.
myself.
Yeah. Love that.
Incriminate someone. Name him by name.
Ken will be sacked because Port are over the salary cap because they paid him too much. Hence why they haven't been able to fire him this whole time, and then we come out and win. There we go.
Love it.
Very good.
They've been-
Elodie just wanted to put into that her call is that a mid-season draft pick's going to win the Brownlow.
That'd be a
Bloody
good
hell.
effort.
John Newcomb.
Yeah.
John Newcomb gets it.
Yeah.
Got that hot boy long hair and loves to tackle.
Just puts in 10 of the best games you've ever seen
Yeah.
consecutively. Yeah. Mine's a bit more down to earth too, and it's sort of a current affairs thing that's gone quiet now, but the Tasmania debate's going to reach an absolute boiling point at some point this year. Currently, it's sitting on the fact that the AFL's gone, you can have a team and a license, but you need to build a new stadium. They've gone full NBA, megalomania here and like dictating terms to this poor state. The state can't afford a new stadium, so the AFL's either going to have to put up more money than they're offering or shut up. And they'll end up playing at Bellreeve. But by the end of the year, we will have one way or the other an answer and a timeline on the Tassie team. But there will be tears involved. It's not going to be pleasant.
Nick Murray will cause the tears.
Whitney Houston's gonna. No, she's not gonna do it. But like maybe Mariah Carey might do a really love song ballad that'd cause tears. I don't know what the tears are for.
like those ads with the puppies and stuff on
Yeah.
TV about adopting them. Yeah, Tasmania needs an AFL team.
They want us to
just
build a
$1 a
stadium, but
day.
these dogs won't eat if we.
We're going to kill the puppies.
You said yours wasn't dark.
And on that bombshell, that will round us out for this episode. Stay tuned for part 2 and stay tuned for Cream's calls coming up very shortly. Thank you to Nathaniel's Coffee and Panini and Trojan Aluminium. Thank you to our Patreon sponsors and thank you for watching and listening. Go Crows.
Go Crows.